guys, I Leche Koza welcome you back to my channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing and press the bell icon so that you'll be notified about my upcoming videos. First of all, I want you guys to know the difference between prayer and worship. Prayer simply means asking something from God, whereas worship means giving Him what you have, giving Him the praise, the glory, the honor, and the adoration He deserves. This is a really important topic, so I want you guys to watch this video very carefully till the end. John 4:23-24. But the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship Him. God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship Him in spirit and truth. God is not searching for famous people, for disco dancers, or for great singers. He's also not searching for preachers, for the ones who perform miracles and drives the devils out. Yeah, those are also important for the extension of His kingdom, but the main thing that God wants is He wants a true worshiper. He's seeking for a true worshiper. So what does a true worshiper do? A true worshiper worships daily without compromising. Not only on Sundays, not only on fellowships, on crusades, on big programs, but they worship daily at their own homes without compromising. Some of us really don't worship that way. We worship when we feel like worshiping, or we don't worship when we feel lazy, when we're sleepy, when we're angry, when our mood is bad, or when we cannot feel the flow, when we cannot feel the presence of God. Those things should not border us from worshiping God. If we let situations and feelings control our worship, the devil will always put those feelings and situations in us that hinders us from worshiping God. He lets us compromise because he doesn't want us to worship. He hates worship. He cannot stand worship. He trembles when we worship. The devil will always try to stop us from worshiping God. But if we don't let our feelings and our emotions, our situations control our worship and adoration for God, there's no way the devil can stop us, because no matter what feelings he puts in us, no matter what situations he puts us in, those things cannot control our worship life, because those things really don't matter. What matters is our heart to God, our adoration to God, because God is great. It doesn't matter what you've done, who you are. Worship is all about God. And so, don't let those things control our worship life. There will be times when you don't feel like worshiping. And even when you do, you won't feel that flow in your worship. Let me tell you what to do in those times. Just close your eyes, kneel down before Him and say, God, I worship You not because of who I am, what I feel, what I'm going through, but I worship You because of who You are. My laziness doesn't make You small. My sleep isn't bigger than You are. Yes, I know I cannot feel You right now, but that doesn't mean You aren't worthy of worship. You are still worthy regardless of what I feel. You are still the King. I am weak, but You are my strength. I know my worship feels like bouncing off the ceiling, and I don't feel like You're listening to me. But Lord, You are everywhere. You know what I'm gonna say even before I say a word. You know what I'm gonna think even before I think about it. God, I cannot feel Your presence, but I know You're here. Even when I cannot sense You, You still see me. You still deserve my worship. Just keep on worshiping and you'll get the flow in your worship. God has not promised that you will always feel His presence, but He has promised to never leave you. I want you to know something which is really important. Let's take an example of a tree. When a tree is dry and its roots cannot feel the water, they extend their roots passing through the rocks in search of water and finally reach the water, and that's what makes them stronger and firm, because the extended roots hold tightly to the ground. That tree is much stronger than the tree that did not extend its root, because it's more firm. And there is a purpose for everything. If you only feel the flow, if you always feel that flow and never feel dry, how will you go deep inside, and how will you search for God deeper? God sometimes allows dryness in us so that we'll extend our roots in search for Him and go deeper, and that's how we get stronger and more firm in the Spirit. The tree whose roots were not extended is much weaker than the tree that extended its roots and somehow managed to get the water. In the same way, if we somehow manage to connect with God every day, even if we feel dry, sometimes we may feel weak and we may not feel His presence. But if we somehow manage to get along with God, somehow manage to connect with that living water, we will remain strong and firm in the Lord. So never give up in halfway just because you cannot feel the flow. Get deeper and deeper unless you get the flow, and you'll notice how strong you get. And that's what true worship is all about. Worship as a lifestyle. It is more important to know why you worship than how you worship. When you understand why you must worship God with your life, you will be more effective in how you worship Him. See, David was a true worshiper. He worshipped when he was happy, he worshipped when he was sad, he worshipped when he was feeling low. He did not let his emotions control his worship. He worshipped when he was surrounded by his enemies. He worshipped even when he was at the point of his death. Nothing could stop him from worshiping. He did not let situations control his worship. You see, it is not so easy to get a title of a true worshiper. It's easy to say, God, you are good when something good happens to you. It's easy to say, God, you are faithful. Like you can pray, you can thank God when you can see His faithfulness in your situation. But what about the times when you cannot see His goodness or feel His faithfulness at all? Will you still be able to say, God, you are faithful, God, you are good? You have to let go of your emotions, let go of your feelings, situations, or whatever it is. Worship is not a feeling that produces action. It is an action that sometimes results in a feeling. Worship is an action you must act, not a feeling you must feel. It's not about feelings at all. God deserves the worship even if you feel it or not. So yeah, a true worshiper worships daily without compromising, regardless of what he feels or what he's going through. So my dear fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, if you want to be a true worshiper, you have to let go of your emotions, feelings, situations, and whatever it is, and worship God. Because worship is not about you. Worship is all about God. Give Him the first part of your day. Talk with God before you talk with anyone else. Listen to Him before you listen to anyone else. Make Him your first priority. Let Him be the center of your heart. Do whatever you need to, but just let Him get all the glory out of your life. That's what true worshipers do. So my dear brothers and sisters in Christ, let's not just be Sunday worshipers, but let's be true worshipers. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I hope you liked it, and if you did, hit the like button and share it with your friends whom you care so that they'll also know what true worship is all about. See you in the next video. Till then, keep worshiping.